Hey, what's going on, positive people? What's up, HCR fam? This is the Be Positive Music Show. I am your host, B+, and of course, we are live right here on Holy Culture Radio, SiriusXM, channel 154, and today we have a very, very special guest, Luke DiMarzio. Say what's up to the people.
What's up? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, definitely glad to have you here. You may not know the name Luke DiMarzio, but if you are a fan of Rapzilla, you've probably read his work before. In the past, he's done like top 10 albums of the month, and that's albums or EPs. So you've probably read him if you frequent Rapzilla's website. But I'm glad to have him right here on the Be Positive Music Show, because what we're gonna do, we're gonna walk through the first quarter of CHH this year. Like I said, he does really dope top 10 lists. So we're just gonna work our way through the month of January, February, and March. So during the first quarter of today's show, Luke is gonna walk you guys through his top 5 albums in the Christian hip hop or Christian hip hop adjacent space. We're a small subgenre, but we do have a lot of variety. So with that being said, Luke, this is a takeover. You go ahead and let us know what we missed out, or what was the best of January in 2023.
All right, yeah. January actually had a bunch of stuff drop. I would say like probably over 25 good albums dropped in January 23. I feel like people were just holding off until after the holidays to drop stuff, you know, and that kind of always happens. It's like, oh, just got to put it out here at the beginning of the year. So my first one that I had on my list was Jonathan Baker's He'll Make the Difference. Little play on words there, H-E-A-L instead of H-E-apostrophe-L-L. He'll Make the Difference. He's got some introspective stuff on there. He's got some melodies now. And he's got some, he's just got some bars. He's got a song in there called Upper Cup with Taylor Gray that is crazy.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Taylor. I'm a big fan of Ohio. Being from Ohio myself, so you got an Ohio on the list, so I like that. What else you got?
Nowadays, I Was There. That's just some like old school boom bap kind of stuff, like just straight up lyricism. Sumner Road is a good song. Self-Esteem, great song. Still Hopeful. I really like the whole album. You can ride through the whole thing. It's good, just vibe out music, or like sitting by the pool kind of music. It was good.
Yeah.
Another one I got on there is Common Hymnal, We Outside. And I'm not sure if you know this, but Common Hymnal is actually a collective group of like just Christian singers and songwriters. So I've got a buddy that he's written with them a little bit, and his name's Aaron Strumpel, and so he's collaborated with Common Hymnal. But whenever they put out a hip hop album, I was like, wow, I got to check this out. And so there's some crazy stuff on there, some really good stuff, like songs about justice and racism and like really current stuff happening in our culture, but like really presented in a really dope way. And so I really enjoyed that whole thing. You got to go check it out.
That's dope, because I've heard some different people that's a part of this collective, but I didn't know about like the collective itself. So I'm interested to know which song you picked out of that one. So that was number 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one, of course, I mean, nobody's gonna miss this on their list, is Eshon Burgundy, Lost Sheep.
Yeah.
And the man is just a beast. Like, I don't know what else to say about this. Like, you've heard Eshon Burgundy if you listen to CHH for a minute.
Yep.
So, I mean, the whole thing is great. My favorite ones on there were Eyes to See, Set Me Free, and Mansions. And he was just great with the whole album. I really like the album artwork on that one too. He's always got like a good art direction when it comes to how his stuff looks too. So I always appreciate that about Eshon.
Yeah. I'm definitely been a fan of Eshon for a very long time, and he's just it's hard to deny the talent. It's just like the man definitely has a gift, and he's walking in it, man. Definitely, for sure. So now for your number one. What's your number one album of January?
Oh yeah, so I got Fame Montana, White Jesus 2. And so let me say this. So I put out an article with Rapzilla, like you said, my top 10 of January, and I missed this one. But now that we're a little later into the year, I could go back and be like, oh man, this album is crazy. Yeah, it's really good. And you never heard of Fame Montana? This is my first time hearing him. He's from Colorado, and
okay.
he goes crazy, like just really kind of gritty, grimy bars, and like he has good beat selection. I really enjoy the whole thing, and I think it's like, you know, it's kind of a mixtape vibe, but it's not really a mixtape. You know, he put it on streaming and stuff, so it's a follow-up to his first album. But I had never listened to that. I had to go back and listen to his previous stuff, but I really enjoyed this. I really like the kind of gritty stuff, and it came out of nowhere for me. It's probably why I put it up higher, you know.
Okay.
But it's all good.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. If you're not looking for something and you have no expectations, so when it has nothing to exceed, so it just catches you off guard. So I like that. So with this being a Luke DiMarzio takeover, go ahead and break us into our first musical break. So what's this first song we're gonna check out here now?
Yeah, so the first song, I just kind of told you a little bit about Faith Montana. It's called Glory. It's got a really cool like sample in there, and man, I just think it goes great. I kind of already told you, it kind of snuck up on me. I added this to the list after the fact, and you'll see why after you hear that song. So take a listen.
All right, this is the Be Positive Music Show right here on Holy Culture Radio, SiriusXM, channel 154, and we'll be right back.
Steadfast, he got me through all of my setbacks. Tryna fly on my own, I had jet lag. From the flames, he had slipped me like jetpacks. I hit my knees when it's rocky like ASAP. He said he loved me, he ain't have to say that. I ain't do nothing, I ain't have to say jack. He intervened from his mercy, let's play back. All the times I was broken from sin, laughed at, abandoned, but all of my friends, I was certain. All
the stuff I've been through, boy, I can tell you, it's amazing. Almost lost my mind, I don't need a lie, almost went crazy. Couple times I swore to God that I would never make it. Guess who was walking by my side all that time? Mine, you know, amazing.
Have you seen angels with afros? I know a halo with magno afros.
Presence is living water, so we scuba dive. Went against all roads, went against all shows, but when it all shows, obedience will leave you alone, cause you see it for what it really is. And preparation will show you adults are really kids. And let's not get on discernment, cause y'all rather serve donuts and decaf, but don't see half of what's going on in your comfort zone or in your own home.
All right, and welcome back to the Be Positive Music Show right here on Holy Culture Radio, SiriusXM channel 154, and Holy Culture Radio. We are live right here with Luke DiMarzio. He is walking us through the first quarter of the Christian hip-hop music scene. So let me get you guys caught up with what you heard during the first quarter of today's show. The first song was Glory. That was by Faith Montana. The next song was called, make sure I'm pronouncing this right, Luke, Enamus Cypher. Emmaus Cypher, and that's by Common Hymnal, and it's a whole group of people, so make sure you go do the research, type in Common Hymnal. They have a fire collective project out, so check that out. That was the second song, and then the third song, shout out to Ohio, the name of that song was Upper Cup. That was by Jonathan Baker, featuring the great Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray is one of my favorite MCs of all time. In fact, the very first album review I've ever done on YouTube was of Taylor Gray. The Love Don't Last Long. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on, and let's talk about your top 5 songs, Luke DiMarzio, of February in 2023. Go ahead.
Yeah, top 5 projects February. My first one I want to throw out is Ty Lynn, One of One EP. And she's kind of, you know, taking off. She's putting up a bunch of stuff. I think she's put out a few EPs this year already. And so One of One is just, it's great. It bangs. It's good. That's the second one I've got on this list is my homie Senny, I, the Struggling Artist. And now,
I love that album. Yes, I love it.
Now it is a little different. It's not like straight up, like he's not like spitting. I mean, I guess he kind of is, but it's like a lot of waves and a lot of melodies. But I mean, it's good. He's a great songwriter. He's just a good dude, like one of the nicest people I've met. And then the next on the list, I've got Diamond, Real One Still Exists. And that's an acronym that spells Rose. And so Diamond, I don't know if you know, he rolls with Hog Mob. And so it's kind of got that like gangster rap stuff, and like he's got some crazy songs on there. Where Was You and Pushin', they're both crazy songs.
Okay.
And I think just recently he just put out another album called Art of War, and I haven't dove into it yet.
Really?
But anyway, Diamond's making some waves this year already. So and then next I'm gonna switch these because I forgot I was doing these in like some sort of order. So my next one is C Duffel, Transcend. Okay. And C Duffel is really consistently, he's a producer, he's an artist, but he likes to put out these little EPs that are featuring a bunch of his friends and people he's made connections with. And I just think he goes crazy. I love what he does musically, and he's just really fun listen for me. And then my number one out of February is, of course, Scribe Music, Scribe and the Wildlings. This one was like a movie, and the way that he put everything together was just perfect. And you've seen the visuals; they go crazy. Like, this dude is like next level, top notch artist. Like, it's so inspiring to listen to what he does. He sings on the air. He raps like crazy, like gritty, grimy stuff, and then he also has like a vocal trumpet solo that he throws into one of the songs. It's kind of fun.
It's ridiculous. it's a song. Is it Eden? It's the last track.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I played that. I think I might have played that in the recent weeks here right here on the Be Positive Music Show. I love that album. I love the little flip he did of Maverick City to start off the album.
Yeah.
It was just, he did a really good job. I haven't done very many album reviews this year, but I'm thinking about dipping in, and maybe Scribes or maybe even Cindy's might be one that I go take a look at. But I do want to say one thing that I really enjoy about following you on Twitter is just because you have like your taste when it comes to Christian hip hop or just music in general. It's just not one lane. Like, just like in your top 5 that you just stated for February, it's a nice mixture. It's a nice mixture of Christian hip hop artists who understand their lane and the bait that they have on their hook to who they want to reach. Like you mentioned, Diamond, like he has a particular sound. Hog Mob they're going after a particular group of people, and they sound nothing like Cindy, and Cindy is going after a specific group of people. And I just think that your taste in music really shows the diversity within Christian hip hop. And it also just shows that fans can be diverse. You don't have to just get grouped into just one sound to listen to. Even though a lot of people do that, and they tend to want to dump on people who don't like the style they like, but it's possible to have a different taste for different times, different seasons. So I think that's dope, man. I think that's dope. So, man, is there any, if you had to pick one album, we have to get to our next musical break, and I want to do that, but is there one more album in February that you want to highlight? If you just had one more to throw in there to make it 6.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, so Lecrae put out his deluxe of Church Close 4 in February, right? So that's probably what I would go to. And even and sometimes when you put out deluxe, it doesn't really help. But I really feel like it even enhanced it more, like how dope it was. I don't even know why he didn't just put those songs on the original one, but it's cool.
Yeah. I thought he did a good job with that as well. I felt like it had more features. It had a lot of features on it. I thought it was a nice touch. So maybe that's why he kind of grouped those off to the side. So let's go ahead and get into our second quarter mix here. So what's the first song we're going to check out here?
Yeah, the first song is called Real Recognize Real by Scribe Music. And it's that's crazy because I'm actually in a group chat with Scribe. And so sometimes, like, people like that, there's a few other people in there, they'll throw in a demo into the group chat. And so he sent in that song, and it was just like verse, chorus, verse. And I was like, it needs another verse, bro. Like, this goes crazy. And so then a couple other guys that are in the group chat, they're like, oh, I got a verse for you. And so
really,
that's how it ended up the way it was. And so it was really cool to be a part of, like, manufacturing that. So
that's really cool. That's some nice behind the scenes. So shout out Weez the Satellite Kid. He did a good job on there. So let's go ahead and get into this next set. This is the Be Positive Music Show right here on SiriusXM, channel 154 and Holy Culture Radio. Don't you guys go anywhere.
If you rapping from your flesh, they some silly bars. They can't stand against the heat. They some dilly bars. Real recognize real, word to Bass Pro. If you ain't making them fishermen, they just bait. Real recognize real recognize.
Struggle with playing it hard when I cross that line, when I gain that yard. But when it come down, I don't see you in a huddle on a knee like I'm ready to play my part. Ooh, I'm getting sick of all these posers out here glorifying things I know you never been exposed with. Corny. Don't compare me to none of them. No, I'm not like one of them. I'm one of.
Slave to the paper, yeah, they sold me drinks with demons. True, the devil caught me sleeping. Fresh out the game, I got the answers that I needed. You know God is undefeated. Never left me, only blessed me. Please don't test me, boy, you know I bang forever.
Okay, and welcome back to the show, the Be Positive Music Show, right here on Holy Culture Radio, SiriusXM channel 154. I'm your host, B+, and we are live right here with Luke DiMarzio. Say what's up to the people once again.
What's up?
All right, and we are working our way through the first quarter of the music drops in CHH. So before we get into the month of March, let me get you guys caught up with the music that you heard during the second quarter of today's show. The first song you heard was Real Recognize Real. That was by Scribe Music, Weez the Satellite Kid, and BZH. The next song was One of One. That's by Thailand. She is an up-and-coming star, I believe, and I think Luke DiMarzio thinks the same thing. And then the third song was Where Was You? And that was by Diamond, Brian T, and Big Say. And with that being said, let's take a look at Luke DiMarzio's top 5 albums in the month of March. Go for it.
Awesome, cool. So yeah, in March I got Trutha, Broken Genius. I want to say Jesus for some reason. Broken Genius. Yeah, Trutha. I actually hadn't really listened to like much Trutha. I've heard him on other people's stuff, but him putting together a full work like this, man, I really appreciated it. Like, it's got some really good stuff on there. I like Feed the People, Genius, and Steppin'. Those are my favorite tracks from that.
Okay.
So my second album on there on that list is Sky, No Turning Back. And it's a little long of an album. It's probably like 18 tracks, but there were still some ones that really stood out to me. Splash, Trenches, and He Saved Me. He Changed Me, and he's got a lot of good features on there. Just a good like southern sound to him.
Okay.
And then we already talked about this artist earlier. My third album on there is Taylor Gray, Thou Shalt Not Covet, and it's a really dope album. He's always putting out good stuff though. Like, I just love the flow. I love like this his whole vibe. It's great. And then my next album is this is one of my favorite Christian rappers, honestly. Young C, This Is For The Wait Too.
Okay.
And man, he's always putting out top-notch stuff. I don't feel like he gets enough coverage. He's great. Good person. One of my favorite songs of the year is on this album. We'll get to that later.
Oh wow.
Then and then my number one album probably of the year so far, and I don't know if anything will top it, is Alcott's album, What's a Man to Do. Now he doesn't have it. I don't know when he's releasing this. I can't remember when he's releasing this. But streaming. Yeah, but it's already been released. I bought it on Bandcamp. Okay. But I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. There's storytelling, there's like crazy bars. He sings a little bit on there. It's got great features. The whole production is by Jesse Calentine, and it's perfect. Like, it's perfect album. So
okay.
Especially for a debut. For a debut, people like to make a big splash, you know. Yeah. It's crazy. It goes crazy.
Yeah, see, I've only heard just like the singles that he's put out on Spotify, like obviously like Cold World and is it Paramount?
Yep.
Yeah, so I've only heard those songs. I haven't heard the full album yet, which is kind of embarrassing because everybody was talking about it. It was all over my timeline, like a couple Friday.
Yeah, a couple Fridays.
Yeah.
Month ago, I don't know.
Yeah. It was really everywhere, and life has been a little busy in 2023. So that's your top 5. Let's see. So let's go ahead and get into some more music. Let's go ahead and do that. What's the first song you have coming up?
Yeah, like I said, this is probably my favorite song of the year so far. Guard the Body by Young C. This is crazy. I love it when they like take a southern sample and they flip it and then they put some Jesus rhymes over it. Like it's so crazy. It makes me want to go run through a brick wall. So Guard the Body by Young C. It's great.
All right, you guys heard it. Luke DiMarzio, right now his top candidate for favorite song of the year, Guard the Body, Young C. This is the Be Positive Music Show. I'm hanging out with Luke DiMarzio, and you guys keep it locked right here on Holy Culture Radio, SiriusXM channel 154. Let's go.
I know the battle is not just flesh and blood, it's spirits and devils, but I keep my foot on the pedal, heavy metal, taking to him like LaMelo, Pharisees and the Pharaohs, I know that the path is narrow, speeding down like sparrows, pointed at you, see the arrows, I'm just praying that God with me in the right field, like Daryl Strawberry, I'm just here to guard the body. Died to myself, I had to catch a body. What's between me or the sin, it would've
God made a promise, if you seek, you'll find. Time now for the loss. Big truck, splash. Tip, splash. Big truck, splash. My God, splash. Dipped in the water, came out with the Holy Ghost. Led by the Spirit, come with it, the overflow.
That's from my phone on the bedside. First thing she does, check social media websites. She think ahead, always plotting to get the next like, and making sure that everybody knows she lived the best life. She good at it, no one know that she faking. The dopamine be correlating with the notifications, but it's cases.
All right, welcome back, positive people. It's your host here, B+, and I'm sitting here with Luke DiMarzio, and you are tuned into the Be Positive Music Show. This is a Luke DiMarzio takeover. If you don't know who Luke DiMarzio is, he does awesome, excellent top 10 album of the month reviews. He's done some in the past for Rapzilla. He also does them on Twitter as well, so you want to make sure you're following him over there. We're gonna wrap up today's show, but before we do that, I do want to go over the 3 songs that we played from the last quarter, the third quarter. The first song that we played was Guard the Body. That was by Young C. The next song we played was Splash, and that was by Sky featuring D1. And then the third song was by Alcott, Cold World. And I need to stop sleeping, and I need to go over to Bandcamp and support what he's got going on over there. So with that being said, I do want to kind of shift gears and just want to kind of hang out and talk with Luke a little bit about Christian hip hop. And I just want for him just to kind of shine a light on some of the more underrated albums. That's something that he's really, really good at. So could you give me your top 10, well, not top 10, your top 5 underrated albums of the last maybe 10 years or so?
Yeah, I'm just a guy that likes to keep lists, and so this is what I do. So here's my list of my top 5 overlooked albums of the last 2 years. Like, people don't talk about these enough. I think they're amazing. So I'm gonna go in chronological order. So my first one is from 2014. It's by Von Juan, and it's called Grace Still Abides. Now, Von Juan is probably one of the most underrated, overlooked, not talked about people in CHH, but he's also one of the most consistent, talented, creative artists in the CHH space. And so, and this is like his quintessential album. Like, it's got features out the wazoo. He's doing melodies. He's spitting crazy. He flips a Biggie sample in one of those songs. Like, it goes crazy. He's got like man, it's crazy. I can't speak enough about this album. Like, it's really, really good. Now there is some stuff that, like, you know, like every album has some stuff you can skip over, but for the most part, I'd say this is just a really solid, great album.
The name of the album again?
Grace Still Abides by Von Juan. Yeah, and if you follow me on Twitter, I'm always giving Von Juan his flowers. Like, he's crazy. So, all right, my next one is from 2015.
Okay.
It's by Theory Has It, Fall of the Light Bearer. Now, people talk about Theory Has It a lot, you know, Extra Credit and Lord Fire, but I don't feel like Fall of the Light Bearer is talked about enough. And so this is me saying, go back and listen to this. It's crazy. Okay. I love it. And like, he's painting a story about how, like, everybody's a hypocrite and everybody makes mistakes, kind of thing. And it's like, it's great. It's so stinking good. So that's all I got to say about that one.
Yeah.
Next.
So now, really quickly about Theory. Theory had a time where he was living in Cincinnati, and like, and that's when I grew up. I grew up in Cincinnati, and like, I was really like, I used to hang around the crew with D-Mob and K-Drama. There was a spot on Hamilton Avenue where Theory used to rap all the time, and I remember my brother used to always take me up there. Like, so Theory, he's been doing it for a very, very long time. So, but I haven't checked out that album. I haven't. So I'm gonna have to go back and check that one out and report back to you what I thought of it.
All right, great. Yeah, my next one is another slept-on artist that people don't talk about enough, and this was his debut album, and I think it's his best. Young C, Vitamin C. It came out in 2017.
Okay.
And it's crazy. So, like, just like Jackie Hill Perry had the Crescendo album where she's sampling gospel songs, he does that a lot on this album. So before Crescendo, you had Vitamin C, and it's crazy. Like, I thought Young C was gonna take off like J. Cole. Like he reminds me of like J. Cole singing over gospel samples on this album. So like, I think this album is just goes crazy. People don't talk about it enough, but here I am. Here, you got to go listen to that one. Young C, Vitamin C.
Young C. See, I've never heard of that album.
Yeah.
You're giving me homework, Luke. You put me to work.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. All right. Next one is probably one of my favorite albums of the last 5 years. And this is another slept on, nobody knows about artist, but his name is Siege, and he's out of North Carolina, and his album is called Good Morning Melanie, and it's from 2020. And during the pandemic, when I had nothing to do, all I did was just sit around and listen to this album. It's great. Now, I will say, I think he leased some of his beats, so you've heard some of these beats on other people's stuff, but just his flows and like his storytelling and like processing like stuff with his family and all this stuff, like it's really, really good. It's deep and it's really good to listen to. Like, I don't think there's a skippable track on it at all. Like,
really,
his charisma, his mic presence, everything is top notch on this. I really, really enjoy this album.
Okay. More homework for me, but I love it.
More. And then my number one, overlooked, and it's more recent. It's from 2021, but it's Alana Wadon, If Not Now, Then When. And he's dope. So dope. And I mean, so this is something that people don't know, but dude's been around for a while, like over 10 years. He was with God Over Money like 10 years ago. He used to go by the name Flo, and now he's going by Alana Wadon. And but anyway, he's got top-notch delivery skill. He can do anything. His rhyme schemes are crazy. Like, think GON, like he used to be on GON. So
right,
think that. But then also he's got crazy melodies, and man, he's got some really like challenging and just like convicting stuff that he talks about in his raps, and it's really refreshing, but it's really, really dope. So yeah, Alana Wadon, If Not Now, Then When.
Yeah, now his song Hold Your Peace on there.
Yeah,
he sampled a singer named Yeba, and the way he sampled that is just ridiculous. I think that in that year, that was probably like in my top 10 listened songs on Spotify for like the entire year. Love that song.
So look, you're not sleeping on him. There you go. There's one of them you're not sleeping on.
Yes, that's one of them that I did good. I did good. I was doing my Christian hip hop duty and staying abreast of everything that's going on. So, but yeah, I love the list. This is the reason why I want to have you on here. It's just because a lot of people feel like, oh, it's always the same artist. Like, there's no variety. People only care about like I mean, let's be honest. All Christian hip hop is independent. None of them are major. Even Reach, they're an independent record label. They just happen to be. They're like if in basketball, they're like the mid-major school. They're like
right.
They're like Gonzaga. Like, they're not. They're really, really good. They haven't. But be sure.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
They're at the end of the day, they're still in a one of the mid-major conferences. So, but I feel like people sometimes feel like there's not enough emphasis put on the little guys. And I feel like in following you on Twitter, I get put on to so much stuff all the time. And if I'm seeing something bubble up. But if I see Luke liked it or Luke retweeted it, I'm like, all right, well, I need to go listen to it. So I appreciate following you, man. I think you're the asset to our community, and just want to affirm you in that.
Thanks, man.
And I'm happy to have had you on the show. I gotta just have you on the channel so we don't have any limit, so we can just spray off and talk about whatever we want to talk about. But it's been a long time coming. I'm happy that you got a chance to hang out with us. So as we close, can you go ahead and let people know where they can find you on socials, so they can kind of get put onto all this new music?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's just at Luke DiMarzio. I'm the same on Instagram. And yeah, my name's spelled weird. That's Luc DiMarzio, like it sounds. DIMARZIO. And yeah, I'd love to have you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, if you want to see pictures of my kids and hear me complain about Cubs baseball. But also I share a little bit about CHH on there too. Yeah.
Well, great, man. It's been a pleasure. We will do this again. And for all my SiriusXM listeners, for all my Holy Culture listeners, I really do appreciate you guys kicking it with us here today. And until next time, I am B+, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.